What is up, you guys? Welcome to the lounge. Glad to be here with you guys. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. We are, it is a late start for the Raising Awareness. Generally, it is on Sunday. I apologize. Things have just been just pretty busy here lately. So, anyways, here we are. That's all that matters. As long as we're here, as long as we're doing it, that's what counts. So, here we are. If you come in, please don't forget, if you can, to hit that share button, put it on Twitter, let your friends know about it. The more people that are here to support it, to just say, hey, we recognize this as being a problem. We're going to come in, we're going to share to show our support and let others know that, hey, this is something that we see to be a problem as well. I believe that that's what really makes a difference. So, anyways, I'm not sure how long we'll be here tonight. Just because it's been crazy. And not only that, but I'm a little bit tired. I got up way early this morning. So, we'll see how things go. And let's take a look, see who we got here so far. All right, and we got one in here so far. Whoever you might be, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I really do. I have got something here that I thought, I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to hear it because I've got it pulled up on my other screen here. I wish there was a way that I could switch over to a different monitor. That'd be pretty cool. There actually is a way to do that if I was on a computer, but right now I'm on a mobile device. So we can't do that, but we can listen to it together. So I believe that's what we'll do. And I'll pause every now and then to see, who we got. But let's go ahead and have a listen.
Okay.
This is a person that is sharing their story from being bullied. Everybody that's been bullied usually, that they all have really heartfelt stories that just, it's unfortunate that anybody would have to go through it, to be honest. I'm trying to see if they're going to give us more than just the music and no talking, maybe. We'll see here in a second. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for this person,
hey guys,
here we go.
Mandy.
Let me try something for you guys.
I'm gonna really try hard to make it through this video. Keeping it together. I'm gonna really try hard, guys.
Okay, hold on, guys.
I don't want to cry already. I'm already starting already. I gotta stop. My heart is like racing right now because I knew that when I started YouTube, I wanted to talk about this. It's kind of like the whole reason why I started, because I know that most of the people who are on YouTube are young people, which bullying happens throughout your life at all ages, but mostly it's like high school, elementary school years, and I know that's a lot of my followers. I'm so sorry. Okay, I gotta pull it together now. Otherwise I'm never gonna make it through this video. So I just wanted to tell you guys my story, and then there's other videos that I want to make right after this of what we can do to change this problem, what we can do to survive bullying, what bullies need to do, and what victims need to do, and what bystanders need to do, and parents and teachers and schools
Sorry, guys, it's
before
kind of
I
hard
went
holding that up
into
like that.
things that would make a difference, I wanted to tell you guys my story so that you guys know that I can relate to anybody who's going through bullying, so that I can tell you that I can relate to people who self-harm and suffer from anxiety and panic disorders and depression and suicidal thoughts or attempts. I understand everything. So let's just talk about my story. So I've been bullied my entire life ever since grade 6, because I've always been in a regular class up until grade 6. I have been pulled out of my regular school and my regular classroom to go into a special education classroom because I suffered from dyslexia, so I had a really tough time with my writing. Everything that I had going on in my brain, I couldn't put down physically on the paper properly. My spelling was really bad, still is kind of bad, and my writing sucked, and my letters were always backwards, which is kind of cool in a way because I would write backwards. I really struggled with that, so I needed special one-on-one time with teacher, and because I was in this class, I used to get bullied really bad, called retarded. People used to call me sped, and sped, retarded, stupid, all of these awful names. I was really strong, actually. None of that really bothered me when I was younger because I've always been a really strong-minded person, and I never really cared what people thought of me. I still don't. I always did my own thing, and I always was involved in extracurricular activities, music, musicals, dance, art, all of these things I used to put my heart and soul into, and nothing
Sorry,
else
guys.
mattered to me, especially because I did have friends. I never had a lot of friends. I always had one best friend. I was never alone because I had friends. I didn't care what anybody else thought because I had them, and that's all I needed. But I had been dealing with bullying, and it wasn't until high school that it got bad. So I think the bullying started around grade 10 because I had been dating this guy, and we had been dating for a year, maybe over a year, and he was very popular in school. All of his friends were my friends, but they were his friends first. He was really popular, and everybody liked him, and everybody
Sorry, guys,
loved
I'm just
him.
setting this up
Basically,
so
my whole grade
hopefully it'll stay the way I want it.
and was friends with him, and were only friends with me because of him. And I did have my own friends too that I made friends with first, but everybody liked him. And he cheated on me a few times, and one time, I had enough. I was really in love with him, but I had had enough. And finally, I broke up with him because he cheated on me, and I caught him in the act, and I just was done. So I broke up with him. And he didn't like that at all. And he went around the whole school talking very badly about me, spreading rumors, telling lies. And before I knew it, everybody hated me. Like, people that I didn't even know, strangers, hated me and had this opinion of me that he put into their heads. And that was it. And honestly, I didn't really care because I'm like, well, you know what, I'm none of those things that he said. And it's sad because I still wanted to be his friend. And it wasn't a bad breakup. He cheated on me and I was like, I'm done, we're over. But like, I still wanted to be his friend. And all of these people hated me, and these lies and rumors went around school for a really long time, but I didn't care because I had my little group of friends, and that was enough for me.
we're going to go ahead and let's stop a second. If you're just coming in, I'm not going to move the camera, you guys. As a matter of fact, I'll just try to, let's see. Try to do this. Okay, so I'm not going to move the camera, so to speak. I'm just going to turn this a little bit. Well, what the hell? I'll move it. So basically, we're watching a story here. If you're just now coming in, we're watching a story of a girl who got bullied a whole lot in high school. She had went on, discussing that, the bullying really didn't start picking up big time until she reached high school. And I'm actually going to be, I'll get the information and I'll try to leave a comment with this person's info so we can follow them to show support. Okay. This video was only from a year ago, so I'm sure the more support, the better, right? Let me go ahead and let's check and see what we got here so far. We got MR Rocker Vlogs. We got Jeff in the house. We got 5 in here so far showing your support. I appreciate it. Again, we're watching the video with this girl that went through a lot of bullying. Yeah, let me get this set back up here. I find this, it's an interesting story, actually. So hopefully I can get this back the way I had it. And it will stay. I'm going to leave it like this for a second. Can you guys see that screen okay? Is it okay? Is it too far over or is it good? You guys able to see it okay? Can you see the screen okay, Jeff and MR Rocker Vlogs? Okay, good deal. So I'm going to go ahead and start it back up here. I think it's important that we try to support people when we can, right?
Okay. It was okay if I at least had one friend. I was fine. I didn't care what people thought. I was always a really strong person. But then, because I wasn't saying anything and I wasn't doing anything about it, it got worse. And finally, the people that I was friends with started getting attacked because they were friends with me. They started getting bullied because they were friends with me, and eventually they started drifting off and leaving me and stopped being my friend because of the bullying. And anybody who associated with me would get bullied because they were associating with me. So people started getting really distant from me because they didn't want to get bullied. And when you're that age, who can blame you, right? Like, nobody wants to be attacked and bullied when you're 16. Finally, I was completely without a friend. And I was starting to feel sad and upset. And I had this like really deep loss in my soul for losing these friends, and really like feeling like betrayed by them because they were too scared of being my friend because they would get bullied too. So I was completely isolated. And finally, I started getting these like messages and these texts online from these group of girls that I guess were friends with my ex-boyfriend. Some of these girls were in my class, and oddly enough, they were in my theater class, my musical theater class, which happened to be my favorite class. And they would all be in groups, and they would laugh at me, and they'd make fun of me, and they'd call me names. And at one point, this girl threw a chair at me in the middle of the class, and the teachers never did anything. A lot of them saw this behavior, a lot of them heard the things they said. The teacher was there when they threw the chair at me, which is crazy. He didn't do anything. Nobody did anything. And everyone else that was in the room when it happened just stared quietly, didn't say anything, didn't want to get involved. And I was just there dealing with it by myself, completely isolated and alone. These group of girls would follow me from class to class to class, and I would get these text messages saying if I went to my next class, they would be there waiting for me outside of the door, and they knew what my next class was, and I would go to my class, and I would see them outside of my door, and one day they wanted to fight me. They told me to come outside with them to fight them, and if I didn't, then they would just fight me, and I had to go to each and every one of my classes and see them at the door waiting for me. So finally, I went to my office and I started expressing what was happening to my guidance counselor. She listened to me and she said she would talk to them. And then when I left, I started seeing all over Twitter these tweets that were about me with my name and everything from these group of girls saying how I told on them and I was a snitch and
So let's talk about that for a second. It brings back when I was talking about, if you remember, that this is a good example of how social media, follows us or, would follow us. And this happens with, with workplaces too. Social media is such a good thing, but it can also be a really bad thing. And as you've seen, she said, hey, here I go to my guidance counselor and I try to do what's right, and now it follows me home. It's exactly what I talked about a while back, how when Twitter and Facebook came out, it really, it gave the bullies another place to follow you. And it's unfortunate. So I just thought I'd bring that up because it kind of intensified when Twitter and Facebook was published, because now the bullies could follow you home. They could harass you even while you're sitting in your bedroom thinking that, oh, well, school's almost out. I'm going to go home. I don't got to deal with this. But today you do. And it's so unfortunate. Let's move on.
2023 my bullying story YouTube. Play game, seek slider, play game.
You could tell that that teacher hates me too, and that that the guidance counselor was on their side and didn't care about me and hated me too, and that was like really bad, and that made it so much worse because now everybody on Twitter, all of the people in my school saw this and just thought of me as a snitch and a wimp. I was raised not to stoop to the level that they were at. I never swore at them. I never called them names. I never went after them in any way, shape, or form. Otherwise, I would have gotten in trouble and I would have gotten spoken to, and my parents would not have that happen. If I was in a part of this, because I know people say it takes two to tango, but that is not true. I'm sorry, that is not true. Bullies don't really think when they do these things. Usually they have their own problems that they're dealing with, and they just want to take it out on everybody else, and they want to have that power and dominance over people, and it really sucks, and it's really sad, and it's actually a form of some kind of mental disorder that bullies have that they have to deal with and go to therapy for, and it's actually really sad, but it does not take two. I'm sorry. Sometimes it does. This case, absolutely not. I never, ever, ever influenced that, other than please leave me alone. That's it. Just leave me alone. Stop messaging me. I went to the office and reported it. Nothing was done about it. In fact, it made it so much worse.
Let's talk about this for a minute. And guys, I'm not going to move the camera because I've got it set where you guys can see the screen, hopefully. Just like she said, you know, and we had talked to you about it here before too, you know, go and talk to an adult. And it brings back a point that some of you made that sometimes that does make it worse. But what I like here, you guys, is that she's not really dogging the bullies when she's pointing out what they're doing wrong. She's also making it very clear that these bullies need help as well. They've got things that they're dealing with as well. And I think that honestly, this really makes this girl here a stand up person. To put it out there like that. To know that she's been put through 10 kinds of hell, pardon my French, and yet sees the other side of what the problem is as well. And she's right. She is 100% right. We'll talk about it more here shortly. Let's just go ahead and continue on for now. If you're just joining us, if you don't mind, give us a thumbs up and stick around. We'll talk here in a little bit. All right?
Click next, play A button. Okay.
So eventually, I stopped going to my classes because these girls were at every single one of my classes and following me. One time I was walking through the school hallways and one of the girls pushed me into a locker in front of everyone. Nobody did anything about that. And then I went, and this was over months, like weeks and months. And I was getting these ongoing text messages, these tweets, these posts on Facebook. People were posting on my walls. And I'll show you some of the tweets, some of the more soft tweets and messages, because the ones that are really bad are just too bad to show, and there's a lot of swearing and there's a lot of horrible things in these messages that I'm not going to show you guys. So I'll show you just a few of the softer ones that aren't even close to what the whole thing was. I had absolutely nowhere to go at this point. I had nobody to talk to. I had lost all of my friends. Couldn't go online because I was being cyberbullied really, really bad. People were telling me to kill myself. People were telling me that life would be better without me. People were telling me that I was ruining people's lives, that I was better off dead, that I should kill myself. I suffered from self-harm at this point. I hated myself, and they really, really made me think that I was really the problem. They really made me think that it was my fault and that I should never have broken up with my boyfriend at the time, and none of this would have happened, and I just hated myself, and they kept calling me ugly, horrible names that I can't even say, so it's hard for me to express to you guys. I started believing them over months and months and months of isolation and bullying and messaging and pushing me around, throwing me into lockers, waiting for me outside of my classrooms. Every single day, my highlight would be going to musical theater class, and they ruined it, and I stopped going because of that time. They threw a chair at me in the middle of class and nobody did anything about it. And all I could think is, if I was in the position of a bystander and saw anybody getting bullied like that, I would never just sit there and do nothing.
Click next, okay button. Click A.
You know, we talked about that too, you guys. Remember, we've talked about it more than once, that, you know, if we see something like this happening, we should never just walk on by, turn our head as if we never, you know, saw it, and be one of them people that said, oh, I didn't see a thing. Personally, if something like this happened and I was there and I walked on and turned my head, I would feel so bad for doing that. So, like she said, nobody should just ignore the fact. Nobody should just walk by and say, who cares? Right? Look at the emotion and this lady here, just talking about it. Going through this in school, I still have my, memories of when I went through it, with the little bit of time that I went through, and it wasn't that long, but it was long enough to where I still think about it, right? So let's move on.
Seek slider, seek slider. Share button menu. Seek select, seek play A button. Okay.
And I think that's the worst part is the bystanders is people don't want to get involved. People think, oh, it's not my problem. I shouldn't say anything or I shouldn't get involved. It's drama. That's the worst word. I hate that word, drama. As if I'm bringing it onto myself. Oh, that girl's drama. Like, don't get involved. It's so much drama. She loves the drama, whatever. Sometimes people have to stand up for what is right. Whether that means they're gonna get in trouble, whether that means they're gonna get bullied or attacked, doesn't matter. If you see that somebody needs help and somebody needs assistance or a friend or anything, you be that person to help them. Because if you're a bystander and you sit there and you do nothing and you watch bad things happen, you are just as bad as the bully. I don't care what you say, I don't care what you think, that is the truth. Because while all of this was happening, it wasn't like it was just happening but behind closed doors. It was happening in the hallways full of people. It was happening in the classrooms full of people. Sorry, my heart is like racing. I'm like out of breath.
How much this affects her,
There
guys.
came a time where I stopped going to lunch in the cafeteria because all of the people that hated me were in there. And a lot of people hated me. People were tweeting me and messaging me that I didn't even know who they were. And they hated me and they didn't even know me. And like, that just like blows my mind because then I was like, wow. At that time in my life, I was young. I thought that the whole world was against me and I was this problem that needed to be dealt with. And I was convinced that. And I was scared and I'm never that person I was never ever that person that was anxious. I was never that person because I have really bad anxiety now. And I think I know that that's why that I have this really bad anxiety disorder because of that. And I never used to be this way. I used to be like super reckless and I used to do anything that I wanted because I wanted to and I was never afraid. And I am afraid now.
If you guys go back and you watch the couple videos that I did, and I know it's a little bit off of the topic of just bullying in general, but if you go back to the mental abuse and stuff like that, just here recently I did 2 different videos on it. I spoke about anxiety, right? I spoke about how when you go through these different things, being bullied or being abused, and bullying is a form of abuse anyways. It's a form of a lot of mental abuse and even physical. But she said the same thing that I did. Every now and then, that anxiety just pops out of nowhere. And it's super scary. It's no fun. And now because of one person deciding, well, they're not always deciding, I guess, but because of these people, right? This innocent girl here has to deal with this for the rest of her life. Will probably be on medication for anxiety for the rest of her life. All because being abused and being bullied and being picked on. Let's move on.
Click next, play A button. Okay.
like, not because of what people think. Like, I don't care what people think. I am so much stronger now because of that. And that had to happen to me for me to, like, make a difference and speak out and help other people that are dealing with what I dealt with. And I believe that everything happens for a reason, and something like this can really make you stronger and make you a spokesperson. But I know that because of that, I suffer now from anxiety and panic disorder, and I never had those problems before this. So it's just upsetting because I don't want people to ever have to go through what I went through, and that's why I'm crying, because I never want anyone to go through that. And I'm sick of people taking their own lives because of this stupid stuff. Like, people are ruthless. I stopped going to the cafeteria for lunch because I was targeted there. Anywhere that I went that was in the open where people were, I was targeted and attacked and yelled at and screamed at. People threw things at me. If I was by myself on my phone, I get texts, tweets, messages. There's no escaping. And so I would take my lunch and I would go to the library and hide in between the bookshelves, or I would go in the bathroom. And the bathroom soon became where I went every single period, because the group of girls that were coming after me waited for me outside of all of my classes every single day. So I stopped going and I went to the bathroom instead, until one day I went to the bathroom and I saw my name written all over the walls. Mandy, go kill yourself. Mandy should die. Mandy's a slut. Mandy's ugly. I hate Mandy, whatever, all over the walls. And it wasn't just the one bathroom. It was every single bathroom in that whole school. People were taking pictures of it and posting it all over Twitter and laughing about it and sharing it with each other. And it was so embarrassing. And I told everyone to take it down and nobody would take it down. And I went to the office with these pictures and telling them that the bathroom was filled with my name and horrible things written about me. And I knew the girls that did it, and they were posting it all over social media. And the principal and my guidance counselor never did anything about it because I had no proof. Meanwhile, I had stacks of printouts, screenshots of tweets and messages from these girls, and they still didn't do anything about it. And if they would talk to them, these girls would tweet about them saying, oh, you can tell this teacher hates you. You can tell that they're on our side and not your side, and you'll never get us in trouble, and all of these things. It was like there was no escaping. I got threatening messages from guys and girls. Like, the girls' boyfriends would message me, you better hope I don't see you tomorrow. If you talk to us or about us ever, you know what will happen. And after the chair throwing and the locker pushing, I was afraid and I didn't want to go to school anymore. I got really sick from this, from anxiety and depression, and I got really sick. I was throwing up all of the time. And I stopped wanting to go to school, and then finally my mom asked me why I didn't want to go to school and how come I was crying all the time, and I told her everything that happened.
I'll be out now.
And she called the cops, and she got the cops involved because all of the physical things that were happening and also the threatening text messages. And we got the cops involved, and the cops came to the school.
Alright, you guys, so I'm going to be putting the link so you guys can finish this entire story. There's still a decent amount left there, and unfortunately I don't have enough time to go through the whole thing. I would like to, but I don't have enough time. I've got do some other stuff tonight, and I'm going to be able to talk to you guys first. So don't leave. I'm not leaving yet, but I'm stopping this. I will be putting that link in the bottom of the, or in the description. Okay. You know, it's you can just see the pain on, you know, on her face, and hear it in her voice, rather, is what I'm trying to say. You can hear it in her voice. The emotion that's involved with her just talking about it. It takes a lot to talk about something like that. You know, when I did my very last video here the other day on mental abuse, it was the second one. It is not easy talking about anything like this. And honestly, mental abuse is just as bad. It's just as bad. In some cases, it can be worse. But it takes a lot to talk about something like that. So this is why we do what we do here. This is why we're always doing our best to raise awareness for bullying, because it is a problem. It's never going to go away. But at the same time, we can offer a place for people to come, right? Here we are, we're on YouTube, so bullying is happening here on YouTube, and those people find out, the ones that are being bullied, find out that we do this every week. They're going to come to us, and they're going to be able to fit in and not worry about, you know, the stress of other YouTubers picking him, and we might have advice for them that might even help them out, right? It's a very good story, though. I'm going to finish watching it myself here later, and maybe you will too. I'll have the link down below. I said in the description, didn't I? But it's not going to be in the description. It's going to be in a comment. Actually, I can put it in the description too. If you give it about 10 minutes after this is done and it's uploaded, or whatever, go back, look for the link, you'll find it there. It'd be in the description. And I'm also going to suggest that all of you that support the Raising Awareness for Bullying, let's all go over, let's subscribe, and if you will, let her know that, hey, you know, I'm a lounger, I'm from the lounge, you know, John was showing your video, and we wanted to come over and show you our support. Well, I mean, you say whatever you want. I'm not telling you what you got to say, but just let them know that, you know, we're from the lounge, and we're, you know, whatever you want to say. I'm definitely going to subscribe, and I'm definitely going to leave some comments or find a way to leave a message or something. You know, what would be really cool is if, you know, we can do this for other people as well, those that's done stories like this. You know, and I'm sure it makes them feel good to know that there was a group of people that sit back watching their story and was, you know, really into the story and cared about every second of what they went through. You know, I won't lie, there was a couple times there when she almost got the best of me, of my emotions. Anyways, I will put that. Isabel, hello, hello. You know, the best way to continue to get the message out, Izzy, is I get frustrated too, because I want to see more people coming in and supporting what we do. But, you know, we just got to keep on doing what we do. Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, tell your friends, tell, you know, whoever. That's the most we can do, right? That's the most we can do. I am going to be ordering here soon. I can't tell you the exact date. I don't want to do that. But sometime soon, I'm going to be ordering necklaces with a dog tag on it. And on that, it's going to have raising awareness for bullying, right? And then underneath it's going to say loungers together, or vice versa. Loungers together, raising awareness for bullying. And then that way, if anybody ever wants one, we'll send them out, right? Especially to those that support the Sunday night raising awareness. When we get it, you guys will get your very own necklace and dog tag, okay? If I was, if I had enough, I would even go a step up and put your name on it, but that would cost funds that I don't have and won't for a very, very long time. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. So, guys, I appreciate you coming in tonight. This is what it's about, supporting each other. And, I think I really like that idea too, Izzy. I think it's a really good idea. It's a way of us showing victims out there that, you know what, we care. And I'll gladly wear mine. I will wear mine all the time as soon as I get them. You'll see. Okay? Let's see here. Okay. So, yep, that's what we're going to do, though. If you guys can, if you don't mind giving a thumbs up, giving us a like, hitting that subscribe button, and I'll be back here again tomorrow, but I do have another video, some more motivational videos I'm doing later tonight maybe, so be looking for that. And if you've not had a chance, go check out the videos that I did on mental abuse, and both of them I think are pretty good. Someone needed me to speak about it, and so I did twice actually. So yeah, go check that out. I'm going to be trying to get Stephen back on with us at some point. I've not had time to really try to get in touch with him, but here soon I'll see what I can do to try to get him back in as well. Meanwhile, here in about 10 minutes, be looking for that video in the description, and then I'm also going to put it in a comment, and I'm going to pin it. That way people can go and subscribe to this sweet girl here that's been through so much hell. All right, guys, I appreciate every one of you. Continue to share, tell your friends. Even just talking about it to somebody makes a difference. So continue doing what you do, and we'll talk to you here real soon. I love you guys.